Now on Newslink, Indiana, Biden is preparing for his State of the Union speech tomorrow amidst the conflict in Ukraine, what he is expected to address.
Plus, how two organizations are working together to help the people of Delaware County.
And I'm tracking dry conditions and warmer weather heading through this week, all in my full forecast.
Delaware County's only live television newscast from Ball State University's Unified Media Newsroom. You're watching Newslink, Indiana.
Good evening, and thanks for being with us. I'm Anna Chalker.
And I'm Tara Konieczny. The UN General Assembly held an emergency meeting for the first time today since 1982, condemning Russia's attacks and supporting Ukraine's sovereignty, calling for peace.
This as war images emerged from all over the country in just a day after Russian President Vladimir Putin announced he was putting nuclear weapons on high alert. And at the meeting, the UN Secretary General said, quote, enough is enough.
The United Nations was born. There is a full-fledged war in the center of Europe.
The United States announcing today it is expelling 12 Russian diplomats from the UN for engaging in efforts that do not align with their job responsibilities. U.S. Deputy Ambassador Richard Mills confirmed the expulsions after the meeting.
Also today, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky making his own announcement. He says he has signed an application for Ukraine to join the European Union. The head of Zelensky's office said on his official Facebook page that the documents are on the way to Brussels. The application was largely symbolic as the process could take years.
And now back on the battlefield, satellite images from Maxar Technology shows that a Russian military convoy has made it to the outskirts of Kyiv. The private U.S. company says the convoy was located on the T-1011 highway at Antonov Air Base, 17 miles from the center of the Ukrainian capital. That air base was also the site of intense fighting last week.
Ukrainian forces are continuing to fight back against the Russian advances. New video posted on Facebook by the Ukrainian Air Force claims to show a successful drone strike by the military. According to that post, the supposed attack took place just north of Kherson, and it is unclear when the drone strike took place.
As sanctions against Russia continue, more sports organizations are announcing the suspension of Russian teams from international competitions. Most recently, FIFA and the UEFA announced Russia's national team and clubs will, quote, be suspended until further notice from the soccer games. The International Olympic Committee further urging sports bodies to exclude both Russian and Belarusian athletes and officials from other events.
Protests against the conflict are popping up all over the world. Germany held a peaceful protest today at Cologne Carnival. Here in the U.S., members of a Ukrainian Catholic church in Wisconsin are praying for the world to hear them and save their homeland. Others in the area took to the streets, holding up signs of solidarity with Ukraine. Protests like this one have been popping up all across the U.S. in recent days, calling for more physical aid than just sanctions.
The Indiana House unanimously supported sanctions against Russia just hours after Russia's invasion of Ukraine began last week. Approved Thursday an amendment to Senate Bill 388, which deals with foreign gifts and ownership of agricultural land, would block Russian-controlled businesses from buying property in Indiana for 1 year. The bill is scheduled for a final House vote today.
In Indiana, House Bill 1134 was killed by the state Senate last Wednesday after a closed-door meeting, according to the Indy Star. Across the nation, education-based bills are being introduced to their state legislators. Newslink Indiana's Olivia Sloniker spoke with one Delaware County teacher who was concerned about what might be next for their curriculum.
I feel like for math, the biggest thing that would change would be if we did have to stick to the schedule, like if that would have been changed, just because I feel like I do make a lot of adjustments if kids, especially like this year, like what they've missed the last year.
House Bill 1134 was originally asking teachers to stop teaching students about concepts of race, gender, and ethnicity. Its goal was to ban the teaching, quote, that an individual, by virtue of their sex, race, ethnicity, religion, color, national origin, or political affiliation is inherently racist, sexist, or oppressive, whether consciously or unconsciously.
It's not going to change anything for me, and I know I probably don't have the popular teacher opinion on that. I mean, I know a lot of people say, if this will pass, then I'm going to leave teaching. And there may be some like that, but I really feel like people that have chosen to be teachers, that's really what they want to do, and they're going to find a way to make it work.
The bill went through changes after first being introduced to the state Senate. Amendments included teachers no longer being required to post their classroom materials for parental review and removing the ban on curriculum that makes students feel, quote, guilt or discomfort. But some educators say that these changes provided little comfort. Now that the bill has been killed, Summer says that knowing that the bill was dropped gives some relief and that, quote, all of us that work in public schools are anxious to work towards ways of making positive changes in education and not focusing on additional regulations that do not best serve the needs of our students. In Muncie, Olivia Sloniker, Newslink, Indiana.
Now transitioning over to weather. It was a beautiful day today, and actually for the past few days it's been amazing.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting that little taste of spring that I've been waiting for.
Exactly.
Chief Weather Forecaster Maddie Johnson has the latest on that weather.
Well, Anna and Tara, we sure are getting a taste of spring with that high of 50 degrees today. That's above our average high for this time of year of 44 degrees. It definitely was a beautiful spring-like day, and that 50-degree temperature did add to our number of 50-degree days this month. We've seen 7 days above 50 degrees, which is above our average. Normally, we only see about 5 days in February that are above 50 degrees. And now our temperatures right now are still pretty mild out there. We're sitting at 42 here in Muncie, and temperatures across the state of Indiana are either in the 30s or 40s right now, but temperatures are on their way back up tomorrow. Find out just how warm temperatures will get later on in my full forecast.
Thank you, Maddie. Tomorrow, President Joe Biden will deliver his first State of the Union address to Congress. Historically, the speech offers presidents a chance to highlight their priorities and agenda, but much of that is taking a backseat right now as the Russia-Ukraine war rages on. Still, it's a critical time for the president as he works to manage a shaky economy and secure a new Supreme Court justice, all while the pandemic drags on. They have intensified the preparation, with the U.S. Capitol Police putting up a fence around the Capitol grounds as they prepare for possible protests by big rig truckers coming in the coming days.
The U.S. Supreme Court has agreed to hear a major Native American child welfare case. The court will consider whether the Indiana Child Welfare Act of 1978 violates the Constitution. The law requires state adoption agencies to place Native American children with relatives or families of the same tribe when possible. It was passed to stop a crisis in the mid-70s when a large number of American Indian children were separated from their tribes through adoption or foster care placement. Supporters of the law say it's essential to protect the stability and security of Native American tribes. Critics say Congress exceeded its authority in passing the law and that some provisions violate equal protection principles. Recent research shows that people who have dementia were more affected earlier on in the pandemic.
Plus, mask mandates are being lifted. Find out what the CDC says about it next.
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, MITS will take you there.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back. Overdoses are the leading cause of death among those aged 18 to 34 in the United States. An Indianapolis nonprofit, Overdose Lifeline, Inc., has partnered with Muncie Folk Collective to put 2 boxes in Delaware County that carry overdose reversal drugs. I spoke to the executive director of Overdose Lifeline about how these are impacting Delaware County. 2 emergency overdose boxes have been put in Muncie, one being at 1314 West 10th Street at the Avondale Community Church, and the other in the Old West End by Friends Memorial Church off Cherry Street. Muncie Folk Collective, a nonprofit organization that works on harm reduction and mental health in the community, saw a need for the emergency boxes in Muncie and reached out to Overdose Lifeline for help in getting them up.
I think Muncie Folk Collective honestly reached out to us through some relationships we had already established in Delaware County and Muncie, and became a distributor for Overdose Lifeline of naloxone, and then placed the box where they have it now.
Each box contains an overdose reversal kit and a single dose of naloxone, or Narcan, the reversal drug for an overdose on opioids. Each bag contains instructions on what to do and how to recognize an overdose. After distributing the drug to someone, you must call 911.
I want to call 911 for a couple reasons. One being that you may need more naloxone, right? Sometimes it takes multiple doses, and presumably EMS will be coming with more naloxone. Number 2, opioids stay in your system longer than the naloxone. So the actual naloxone can wear off and the opioids can reattach and you can re-overdose.
Since having the boxes up and running, Overdose Lifeline has seen that they have been used and the areas they were put in were necessary.
You know, anecdotally, what I've seen from the Muncie Folk Collective is that the box has been used a tremendous amount of time, which means people really needed it and are so grateful for this resource.
Anyone is eligible to visit the boxes if they are in need of an overdose reversal kit. You can also request your own dose of naloxone for free by going on the Overdose Lifeline website at overdoselifeline.org.
New research shows seniors with Alzheimer's disease and related dementia faced higher risk of death early on in the pandemic. The study looked at more than 53 million Medicare enrollees 65 and older from March through December 2019 and 2020. The death rates for those with dementia was 26% higher compared to the same period the previous year. It was 12% higher than those without such diseases. The study says nursing home lockdowns and fewer inpatient healthcare visits may have led to higher death rates. One of the co-authors says the healthcare system needs to approach treatment of people with cognitive issues differently.
Most Americans live in areas where healthy people do not need to wear masks indoors, according to new metrics from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention released Friday. Now, a number of cities are lifting their mask mandates, including Chicago, who has lifted its mask mandate today. That same goes for children in New York State, who will no longer be required to wear masks in school beginning Wednesday. The CDC's new metrics indicate only 28% of Americans live in a part of the country where they need to wear masks indoors. The agency has no indoor masking recommendation for those areas unless there is potentially an increased risk of contracting the virus. The CDC still recommends being fully vaccinated with a booster shot. They also suggest people get tested for the virus if they have symptoms.
A Rhode Island woman who made hundreds of face masks for others during the pandemic is turning her talents towards a children's hospital. 2 years ago, Phyllis Kayer was one of the first people to set up and make hundreds of face masks for people for free. That led to $10,000 worth of donations that she generously gave to her local food pantry. And since the fall, she's been sewing pillowcases for kids at Hasbro Children's Hospital in Providence, Rhode Island. To date, Phyllis has donated 200 of them so far. Her husband does the designated drop-off, bringing them to Hasbro, and despite spending almost all of her free time and hundreds of hours helping others, Phyllis says what she gets in return is a payment larger than life.
The big climate takeaway from a report published by the United Nations today. What years of research says next.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Emotes say a lot, but they can't say it all. Think your guildmate is struggling? Try these dialogue options. Go beyond emotes. Check in with your guildmates at seizetheawkward.org.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
And banding together.
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort.
to get to know each other,
On a deeper level. Father.
cosplayer,
Mentor.
actor.
It's time we take a step forward
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
How accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Hundreds of scientists are saying climate change is worse than we thought. That's according to a report released by the United Nations. The report's authors say the pace of human-caused global warming is happening much faster than expected. The change is already pushing many of the planet's most critical systems to the brink and may soon bring irreversible impacts. And now today has been really nice out. I feel like it was the perfect balance today.
It was, and it has been for the past couple days.
Yeah.
And Maddie, will that warm up be staying for March?
Well, first off, to recap February, looking now at our temperature calendar for February, we saw a mix of above and below average days in terms of temperature, but all in all, ending the month about a half a degree below normal. You will notice, though, that we did start off the month above average, and we did also end the month today with an above average day, and this trend does, in fact, look to continue as we head throughout March. As well, on our precipitation calendar, again, seeing that mix of wet and dry days, but all in all, the dry conditions won out, and we ended up about 0.34 inches below normal in terms of precipitation for the month of February. Now, for the month of March, to open it up, I'm pretty excited about the amount of daylight we're going to receive during the month. Our sunrise tomorrow morning at 7:15 a.m. and that sunset at 6:33. But as we head throughout the month, we are expected to gain daylight, that sunset by March 31st at 8:04 p.m. and we are gaining about an hour and 19 minutes of daylight as we head throughout March. Now, overnight tonight, we're ending with a mild low of 36 degrees under partly cloudy skies, and those winds out of the south-southwest at 5 to 15 miles an hour. And as we head into the day tomorrow, those light winds are going to stick around out of the southwest at 5 to 15 miles an hour, but another warm day is in store as we open up the month of March. We're going to hit a high of 55 degrees by the time we get to 3 p.m. under partly cloudy skies. And now our weather pattern this week is all due to the jet stream. Now, as a reminder, the jet stream is that river of air aloft that is separating the warm and the cold air masses. So if we're on the cold side of the jet stream, we're going to see colder temperatures, and vice versa. If we're on the warm side of the jet stream, we're going to see warmer temperatures. And so as you can see here for Tuesday, that mild high of 55 degrees, we're on the warm side of the jet stream there, but look at how this all changes as we head throughout the week. On Thursday, then, we're tapping in on those colder colors, those blues, indicating a colder air mass. We're we're on the colder side of the jet stream, so we will be seeing below average temperatures then. But then this all changes as we head into the weekend. We're then on the warm side of the jet stream, so we're getting all this warm air from the Gulf of Mexico and all that moisture too. So we're going to be seeing warm temperatures as we head throughout the week, with the exception of Thursday. And we're seeing that here on our 5-day temp trend: 55 both days, Tuesday and Wednesday, 37 on Thursday. So there's that cold side of the jet stream, and then temperatures all the way up to 63 degrees by the time we get to Saturday. So it's definitely going to be a very warm start to the first week of March. And the other story here is the CPC 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook. We're seeing above average precipitation probabilities across much of the country, and that precipitation chance is reflected here on our mid 7-day forecast. We're seeing dry conditions all the way through the week, that cold high of 37 before precip chances return just in time for spring break. By the time we get to the weekend, you're going to be needing that umbrella because we're going to be seeing that precipitation, but also highs in the 60s. So there is that trade-off there.
I'm fine with highs in the 60s. It definitely makes it better.
Yeah, it kind of makes my allergies bad, but I'll take any warm weather I could get.
I'm really excited for the 60s, and just remember to grab that umbrella as you head out for spring break.
Awesome. Well, Maddie, thank you so much. And Bryce, how's sports looking for us tonight?
Ball State football releasing their schedule for this upcoming season. Find out the big matchups and important dates next in sports.
Here's your sandwich, miss.
Oh, thank you.
And your burger.
Awesome, thank you.
And your bowl of boiling water, sir.
After retiring from the NFL, I've been able to spend a lot more time coaching my daughter's basketball teams. It's something I love to do. Through our games and our tournaments, we see all types of coaching, good and bad. And it begs the question, do we really know who's coaching our kids? Do they have the proper training and screening it would take for me to be comfortable with my daughters playing for that coach? Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to screen and train all of our coaches. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
So if one cat has 4 kittens who reproduce every 6 months, how many cats will there be in 5 years? Who's got it? Is this... What is that? Seriously? Who threw that?
Cats are terrible at math, but they sure do multiply. Please spay, neuter, and adopt.
The solution is 10. Welcome back to Newslink, Indiana. I'm Bryce Dimsevich with sports. As the weather gets warmer, that can only mean one thing. Football season is on, and the 2022 schedule has been released. The Cardinals slated to take on the Tennessee Volunteers to open up the season with their first game in an SEC venue since 2015. Ball State then coming home to Muncie for their first home game versus Western Michigan, and then Murray State the following week for Family Weekend. Another notable game taking place on October 1st, with the Cardinals taking on Northern Illinois at home to reclaim the Bronze Stalk Trophy. Ball State's next big game is on October 22nd, with the Cardinals taking on Eastern Michigan at home for homecoming week. The schedule rounding out with Miami, Ohio in Ohio on November 22nd and the MAC Championship December 3rd. Switching schedules to men's basketball. Ball State hosting Akron in Worthen Arena tomorrow. The Cardinals will be playing in their final home game and second to last game of the regular season. The senior night special will be the second time this season that the two MAC foes have taken the court against one another. Their last matchup took place in Akron, resulting in the Cardinals losing 74-84. Ball State coming off an 11-point victory over Eastern Michigan, where Peyton Sparks led the way with 17 points while making 6 of his 7 shots. Sparks secured his 10th double-double of the season when he grabbed 10 rebounds to his stat line. The The Cardinals holding a 9-4 record at home and will look to maintain that dominance in front of a home crowd for the final time this season. Taking things over to the green, Ball State men's golf competing in Puerto Rico for the Dorado Beach Collegiate. After Monday, the Cardinals leading the competition with 3 Cardinals inside the top 10. Ali Khan, Colin Nasser, and Joey Ranieri all inside the top 10 for Ball State. Khan sits in 4th with 7 under par, followed by Ranieri at 5 under and Nasser tied at 9th with 4 under. The Cardinals are paired with the University of Northern Carolina Greensboro and Wofford for the last round tomorrow morning starting at 8:30 a.m. Switch hitting to baseball. Ball State closing out their play in the Carolinas Coastline Classic with a 9-6 loss to Coastal Carolina earlier today. Holding a 3-2 lead throughout the first 3 innings, the Cardinals gave up a 6-run inning in the 4th, massively shifting the momentum over to Coastal Carolina. Unable to recover during the rest of the game, BSU falls to Coastal Carolina, finishing out their tournament with a loss. The Cardinals head out on the road for a 4-game stretch, facing off against Florida A&M on Friday, March 4th. Switching it over to the courts, Ball State women's tennis taking on 2 opponents over the weekend. On Friday, the Cardinals traveling to the University of Dayton and dominating the Flyers with a final score of 7-0. After the victory, the ladies traveling back home to take on the Lady Penguins of Youngstown State University on Sunday. Following up the win, Ball State coming out victorious over Youngstown State with another 7-0 victory. After 2 massive wins over the weekend, the Lady Cardinals now stand 6-2 on the season. Now, lots of Ball State sports happening in the past week, but I'd like to focus on men's basketball. Got the MAC tournament coming up. What do you guys think they'll do?
I think they'll do pretty well.
Hopefully they'll pull through. I mean, we're always rooting for the Cardinals, so let's go.
Absolutely. Go Cardinals.
Yes, Bryce, thank you. And it's officially Mardi Gras, and get ready to party how you can start celebrating the holiday.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just like the rules to surviving Zombieland, there are steps you can take to be prepared for an emergency.
It's the right thing to do.
Talk with your family to make a plan. Look for safe areas to meet up if separated. And stock up on supplies. It's never too early to get prepared, so start now.
Right now? Right now.
You can't predict emergencies, but you can be ready.
You're welcome, America.
Visit ready.gov today to learn more.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a 4th ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Get ready to party. Mardi Gras festivities start tomorrow. The holiday marks the last day of parades and feasting before the start of Lent, and you can participate by attending a local Mardi Gras parade, preparing a feast, or enjoying a king cake. Now, this weather is going to be perfect for some parades. Maddie, let's get one final check of weather.
Yeah, Anna and Tara, another thing we can celebrate is the return of warmer weather here. We're getting progressively warmer throughout the week, with the exception of Thursday, a high of 37, then 48 on Friday and 63 on Saturday, and then rain chances return by the time we get to the end of the weekend.
Maddie, thank you so much. That's all tonight for Newslink Indiana. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the Newslink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night.